Welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down the Hungarian Grand Prix. Let's start with the shocking qualifying session because there were surprises all across the board. From Leclerc's stunning pole to Aston Martin's revival and Red Bull's struggles, let's dive straight in. Starting with the headline of the day, Charles Leclerc on pole. A lap time of 1 minute and 15.372 seconds puts the Ferrari driver at the front, stunning fans and pundits alike. No one saw this coming after a tough run of form for Ferrari recently. Piastri and Norris locked out P2 and P3 with just 0.041 seconds separating them from Leclerc. McLaren looked strong all weekend, and they'll be feeling confident heading into Sunday. Another surprise? Aston Martin. Fernando Alonso starts P5 with Stroll right behind in P6, both under 1 minute and 15.5 seconds. This is a huge turnaround from their recent qualifying woes, and Hungary's twisty layout seems to suit the AMR25 perfectly. And how about Gabriel Bortolito? The Brazilian rookie continues to impress with a P7 for Sauber, just ahead of Max Verstappen. As for Max, it was a frustrating session. P8 and visibly struggling with the car throughout qualifying. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Antonelli had another disappointing Saturday. Hamilton could only manage P12, while Antonelli was way down in P15. So there you have it. Leclerc shocks the field, McLaren keeps the pressure on, and Aston Martin bounces back. With such a tight grid and strategy always key in Budapest, we're set for a thrilling race on Sunday. And as for the race, let's start with the star of the day, Lando Norris. A brilliant one-stop strategy saw him take a well-deserved win in Budapest. While others around him opted for aggressive tire changes, Lando managed his pace perfectly, nursing his hard tires all the way to the end. It wasn't just tire management. He was fast when he needed to be, and smart when it mattered. This is one of his finest wins yet. But it wasn't a smooth cruise to the finish. Oscar gave him a late race scare, rapidly closing the gap in the final stint thanks to a two-stop strategy. With just a few laps to go, Oscar almost ran into the back of Norris going into turn 1, a real heart-in-mouth moment for the McLaren garage. Pole-sitter Charles Leclerc had a tough Sunday. While he started strong, his pace dropped off dramatically in the final stint. Ferrari later revealed a chassis issue was to blame, and it clearly cost him dearly. He was powerless to defend as Russell breezed past, and what looked like a podium turned into P4, a frustrating end to what began as a promising weekend. And speaking of George, once again, the quiet achiever. He wasn't in the spotlight much, but his consistency and clean execution landed him another podium. No flashy overtakes or drama, just solid racing and a well-timed strategy from Mercedes. P3, and more points on the board. Fernando Alonso, now 44 years old, reminded everyone that he's still got it. The two-time world champion delivered a classic defensive drive, finishing P5 and holding back a train of faster cars behind him for the final stint. It was vintage Fernando, cool, precise, and impossible to pass. He might be the oldest on the grid, but you wouldn't know it from the way he drove today. And just behind him, Bortolito. The Brazilian rookie finished P6, just behind his mentor Alonso, and was the best rookie once again. Sauber gave him a competitive package, and he delivered with a mistake-free race and strong pace. He's starting to look like a long-term player in this sport. Over at Red Bull, it was another frustrating afternoon. Max Verstappen just didn't have the car underneath him, and even he couldn't drag it into contention. The RB21 struggled all weekend, and despite flashes of speed, Max finished outside the top 6. A rare off day for the Dutchman, and one the team will want to quickly forget. As for Lewis Hamilton, the strategy looked bold, a potential first long stint that could have launched him into the top 10. But in the end, he slipped out of the points after his pit stop and was not able to recover enough. Ferrari rolled the dice, and it didn't pay off. With today's win, Norris has closed the gap in the Drivers' Championship, and he's now just 9 points behind Piastri heading into the summer break. The title fight is well and truly alive, and with momentum on Lando's side, the second half of the season could be electric. That's it for today's recap. What did you think of the Hungarian GP? Can Norris keep this form going? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, like, share, and subscribe for more F1 breakdowns, race analysis, and everything in between. See you in our next F1 recap after the summer break.